They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and add another figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now this time I will be rounding out my Snyder Cut Justice League figure run. I have done previously Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash, and the 2 Superman. I reviewed them and then I did a repaint of each one. So I'm really happy to finally get to my favorite. This is Batman with his tactical gear suit on. Now I am a big fan of the portrayal of Batman in Batman v Superman and Justice League. Some of the best parts in the films to me are when Batman is centerpiece, you know, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You like what you like, and I like me some Batman. Now it's been a long time coming that we get to this figure. He does look pretty intimidating in the packaging, but let's go ahead and take a closer look at him. But first, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Not really needed, but sometimes comes in useful. He also comes with his data file card. On the front there we do have an image of Affleck in the actual regular suit, which I really hope one day we get a representation of that suit, but for now this is what we're working with. And on the back you do have some information. Add that to the collection. And you do get one accessory, and that is a Batarang. Now this is the shape, and it's a really nice plastic, stiff plastic for the figure, but it is the wrong color. It should have more silver on it, so we'll of course be fixing that in the repaint. But pretty good little accessory. Now let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, first impressions, really liking this figure. Not too hard to get the likeness of Affleck in there because all you're working with is the lower part of the face, so that's there. The sculpting of the cowl is impeccable, and he looks like a real stoic figure in his tactical gear. Really nice. First, observations, I'm really digging this figure. He's something I really like about this style of suit that they used in the film, and it is transitioning to the figure in my hand. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the head. This one is the version with the goggles down, which is how Batman usually has them if he's in combat, so that's alright. He can look up surprisingly really good. That would make good for some above head shots, looking down on him like in a spotlight. That's going to be pretty sweet. He can look down, and he does have left to right, and then of course you could tilt his head for some attitude. Now moving down to the chest emblem, really nice bulky chest emblem. It is embossed and raised, so that sculpt work is impeccable. Going down you have all the tech armor on the suit. And let's check out his range of motion. You can rock him left to right. You can rotate him around at the waist. He does have upper torso swivel, and he does have lower torso swivel. Now, you could lean him forward, but not too much. But if you've ever actually worn some kind of suit or tactical suit, you don't have the same movement as if you weren't wearing a bunch of armor and a heavy plated suit, so you got to take that into consideration. But he can lean back extremely well, which is nice. Going down to the belt, has all the pouches, little cylinders, kind of soft rubber to the trunks, but that's what we come to expect from McFarlane. And actually looks all good except for the paint. It is like a grayer, duller plastic where it doesn't match the rest of the suit, but we will be repainting these, so that's not a big deal for me. Let's go ahead and take a look at the arm. He does have the butterfly shoulder joint, bicep cut, double jointed elbows, and you can lift his arm past 90 degrees, even though he has his cape here, which is awesome. Moving to the gauntlets, beautiful sculpt work on the gauntlets. Seamless transition into the gloves that do have some sculpt work on them. You could barely see the wrist ball joint, but it does give you tons of ways to manipulate the wrist, which is really great. Now his gauntlet blades are a little bit soft, but this is just for visual, so it's not like you're actually going to use this to cut something, so it doesn't really matter to me that they're a little bit soft. They keep their shape and they're nicely sculpted, so it's all good. Going down to the legs, let's check out his thigh swivel. Very generous thigh swivel, not the best, but also not the worst. You do have a nice range of motion, which means that you could cock out his leg and put him with those double jointed knees, straighten them out, up, down, left to right, and then a really smooth working ankle rocker. And then of course you do have toe articulation. Now before we go, let's take a minute to appreciate all the sculpt work in this tactical armor on his legs, the straps, the pads, the guards, even the shoes have all their sculpt work. Beautiful, beautiful figure. Take a look at him from the bottom. A little bit of tread, especially on the heel portion and on the tips of the toes, but he also does have some identifying marks. Lifting up the cape, more beautiful sculpt work up the back. You have the back of his belt there, and a surprisingly smooth back sculpt. Not really a lot of protrusions there. Let's talk about this cape. I really love the faux cloth style of McFarlane, where it's soft enough to bend and has a lot of texture, and it even has a little bit of movement. So really loving these capes. Awesome, awesome work. Back of the cowl, you got that neck guard above the cape, and then the cape drapes over, transitions to the front right above the chest armor and the bat emblem. Beautiful, beautiful figure. Now honestly, I just can't get enough of posing this guy, moving his head, different looks. You know, you can get the Batarang, and it does fit easily into his hand. Now one thing they did not give us, they did not give us a grapnel gun, and I had been working on this one. This is like a little custom one I made using parts from the original Batman 1000 grapnel gun. Kind of looks a little bit like the one in the movie, and you can put it in his hand and, you know, take some pics. So I might refine my method of the way I made this, but it's pretty close for a free weapon that I just built myself. Looks pretty good. So that will be used on the repaints that I do. Let's get another couple of things out of the way. I do have the unmasked version, Ben Affleck in the suit. Now this was Entertainment Earth, I think, exclusive. This is the same thing with the face. It's okay, but it has no shading at all. So with my experience from repainting the Superman, Henry Cavill, I might go ahead and get into this one and try and add some like shadow down underneath here. We'll check it out. I might repaint this guy just the shadows on the face. Now with him, you do get a different card, a black and white one, and it says Unmasked there. And then you also got another form of grapple gun. This one is different, no paint apps at all, and it is a different styled one than the brown and kind of gunmetal one that he's supposed to have. So we'll hold on to this. Maybe I'll pose him with this one in his hand. That's all good. Now, I will be doing 2 repaints of this figure, the tech suit. These are going to come from, because I didn't really collect a lot of the Mattel movie figures. They just didn't do anything for me. But I did surprisingly buy a lot of the Batman. That was like the only ones I did like when I saw them in stores. So I'm going to do one representation of the tech suit like in silver, the way it is in the film. So I'm going to try to add all these paint apps and maybe even look up some other reference pictures like online, the you know, all the straps and buckles that this one is supposed to have, and then I'll repaint it. Be looking forward to that video. And then I'm also going to do another repaint, but more in this style. Now this figure is actually the one that came with like one of the radio controlled Batmobiles. So it's not like a regular released one, but I just love the bronze work that they did on the boots and on the belt. So, and then the suit is different. It's more like a dark gray. So I'm going to be doing a representation of this figure on one of these. This figure, like the color scheme and not everything matched up on one of these figures. So the next video where I do the repaint will have 2 versions of this design, which will be these 2, and then a special surprise at the end of the video. And that's it for now. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.